Text-to-voice synthesis provided by Vidnami. For the Innocent. January 16, 2021 by Anna von Reitz. A sovereign entity, which includes the states of the Union, can operate with impunity in all jurisdictions of the law and in all realms and venues. We don't need permission from the Queen. We don't need a franchise from the Pope. Even the agent of one or more sovereign entities can operate with sovereign immunity in all jurisdictions of the law and in all realms and venues. Long before the Civil War, long before there was a Confederation of States, there was a Federation of States. That unincorporated Federation of States is called the United States of America. The Federation is the agent for the states of the Union banded together for their mutual protection. The Federation operated autonomously in all international and global jurisdictions for almost 5 years without making a single delegation of power. So you know now, for sure, that the Federation doesn't need the federal subcontractors to get business done. The federal government is named after this federation. The Federation is what makes the federal government federal, by delegating powers of the states to be exercised by these subcontractors under the stipulations of the constitutions. All powers of all federal subcontractors were delegated through our unincorporated Federation of States. It's the federal subcontractors that need the Federation, not the other way around. When the federal subcontractors are incompetent, unable or unwilling to perform their contractual obligations, when they get uppity and think they will conspire to evade their obligations, the Federation is there to enforce those obligations, and to call the sovereign states to assemble to deal with federal insurrections and misadministration, to enforce the constitutions and to enforce the public law. So, even though you were never taught any of this in 8th grade, U.S. history, your states of the Union and your Federation are now in session. This is your American government, the long-lost government of, for, and by the people of this country, but you have to get off your tushes and educate yourselves and self-govern. Self-governance is a right, but it is also a responsibility. You don't get one without the other. We are now in a tight situation, in the midst of a battle of lies and false claims and bourgeois being promoted by foreign commercial corporations playing carrot-and-stick games hoping to avoid their responsibility for breach of trust, embezzlement and other crimes committed while on our payrolls and to keep us confused enough to allow them to victimize us some more. With your awareness and attention, that isn't going to happen. It is to the advantage of both the offending commercial corporations if they can get a war going on our soil. They would like nothing better. A war distracts from political and commercial crimes. It offers endless possibilities for these corporations to earn money and siphon both money and assets away from the victims and third parties to such a conflagration. Our enemies love war. It's what they are good at. They've made lots of money via staged false flag inducements to war. And more money from undeclared wars for profit. Right now, they are engaged in exactly such a war against the common cold, no less. And they are using this as an excuse to implant patented mRNA into people, thereby converting vaccine recipients into GMO products that can be owned by the patent holders. Isn't that sweet? They get to make money selling labor and materials to both sides of any such conflict. They get to charge usury on loans made to both sides. They get to exercise political power using the war as an excuse for oppression and rationing, lockdowns and other nonsense. They get to commandeer all news channels and organizations. They get to charge war reparations afterward. In this country they don't have a leg to stand on. No authority. Not a shred. They are just bluffing and bullying and scaring people into submission and ordering their corporate franchises to obey. So far as our individual estates are concerned, they get to kill us, their priority creditors, in a war, so they never have to pay us back. They get to collect the life insurance and annuity benefit packages they have placed on each one of us. They get to avoid paying the Social Security and military service benefits they owe us. They get to seize upon our abandoned homes and businesses, too. They get to charge our survivors for the cost of their service, of killing us and cleaning up the mess they created for their own self-interest. So, there in a nutshell is why we would be incredibly stupid to start any such war, and why we must pursue this whole situation as a matter of crime, not politics, not religion, not race, not any of the things they would like to blame it all on. This is not about Jews or Gentiles. It is not about black or white. It is not about Republican or Democrat. This is about crime. Crime committed against you, against your parents, their parents and their parents' parents. 6 generations of Americans have been victimized, enslaved, trafficked, plundered, and pillaged, by foreign governments under contract to provide us with essential government services. Since when do crimes of murder, piracy, and theft amount to essential government services? All this damage to us, including the embezzlement of trillions of dollars worth of natural resources and commodities, labor, and securities, has been done to us by those we have considered our good friends and allies, foreign governments that we have supported through 2 world wars, and which would not exist without us. This is the truth of the matter. So look around and look sharp. Take that big target off your back. Stop taking things for granted. And stop being a gullible victim of all this lawless corruption. You have lawful means to take control and you need to use it, and band together with others and get organized without further delay. Go to www.theamericanstatesassembly.net, and pass the word. The actual Americans and the actual American government are assembling for the first time in over 150 years. It's time for our subcontractors to show their good faith and service, and clean this mess up, or we are going to have to do it ourselves. Bring your mops and buckets.